This week, we celebrate International Women's Day, an opportunity to imagine a gender equal world, a world that's diverse, equitable, and inclusive. Welcome to day 3 of our 5-part video series, where we are celebrating women's achievements and raising awareness about discrimination. I am excited to bring back together this amazing group of women leaders to share their thoughts with all of you. This is a reminder for us all to take action to drive gender parity and inspire inclusion. Could you share specific diversity, equity, and inclusion experiences or initiatives within your organization that have fostered a more inclusive environment, and what lessons have been learned along the way?
For Colliers, we've really looked at it both internally in terms of how we are achieving a more diverse population at our firm. And I think we've done a phenomenal job to increase the metrics at all of the levels of seniority, ensuring that we have meaningful diverse candidates for every posting. And our trends are really high right now and bringing on board more women and people of color in manager and higher roles. So I'm really proud of that. And that's been a very conscious decision on our part to make sure that we are engaging with the communities directly, bringing on board both mentorship opportunities with external companies or associations, but also encouraging mentorship within our own organization. And for the past 7 years, we've had a really strong participation in our mentorship program. So both the promotion and retention of top talent has been a key driver in addition to bringing it in from an attraction standpoint. But from a business standpoint, that's where we're affecting the business community in terms of diverse supplier relationships and engaging with those communities. So about 4 years ago, we started a program called the IDEA program, and it's really focused on identity, diversity, equality, and accessibility for options for diverse suppliers. It's not just the dollars of spend that we're trying to achieve with our clients. We're trying to ensure that we are creating opportunities for generational wealth within the communities that we're transacting. That's really important. The way that we fee share with those diverse suppliers is incredibly important. That's how diverse suppliers grow.
I think one of the most instrumental opportunities that I had was to be a writer for a business resource group or employee resource group. They've helped shape who I am as a leader. They've helped me believe that I can do it, because through those groups, you get so much exposure to different levels of the organization. You get exposure to different thought processes and backgrounds, and you get to hear people's stories. And I think that organizations that really invest in those type of groups, I think you really give a key to your employees to be able to unlock their own potential by being participants in them.
We have a conversation council that I host where I meet with groups of about 10 to 12 people once a month. And we talk about the latest things going on in our business at Duke Energy, but also everybody introduces each other if they don't know each other and talks about what they do. And we do kind of fun, just quick roundtable questions. I'll ask just questions about, what skill do you have that nobody knows about, those types of things. And everybody gets to know each other. And they're a different mix, different backgrounds. And I've really been amazed at what it does to bring people together, because when you face each other, know each other, I think that just goes so far to inspiring the culture that you need to really embrace diversity and inclusion.
There are multiple references to companies that have diverse leadership that also outperform other companies. But to me, it means that everyone's welcome equally to contribute their talent and participate in the organization's success.
There's women leaders and men leaders all across our company who are really leaning into how they can work better together and focus on the client outcomes. I can't tell you how many times I read an email and thought it said one thing, and my male partner thought it said something totally different. And because we were able to talk it through, we were able to better serve the client's needs just from seeing those different perspectives come together.
I think that fostering inclusive environments can sound scary or daunting because it's a little bit ambiguous, but it's really just around asking people how they're doing in a very basic sense, how they're doing professionally, how they're doing personally, taking an interest in who they are in a genuine fashion, and then wanting to ensure that if there's something that somebody might not be feeling comfortable or safe, maybe to use the word a little bit too significantly, but that somehow we're just aware of it and we have some thoughts on how to address it or to be compassionate. And so I think a lot of it just kind of correlates with showing up, demonstrating an interest, a genuine interest in people, and then following through. My current boss has a statement that's about kind of your say-do ratio. And so how often is what we're doing following what we had said? So I appreciate that a lot because it shows congruency, it shows integrity, and I think all of those things contribute to people feeling as if they are included.
I've never seen so many people within our firm take paternity leave. And that makes me so happy because that means, we're getting closer to being more equal and treating people. When people take paternity leave, that means there's acceptance and there's appreciation and respect to how important it is for both parents to have that time. And when I see that and I see the out of offices for paternity leave, it just warms my heart because I feel like it's a small step.
So I think the big takeaway for me is that you cannot assume if you have a diversity, equity, and an inclusion office or officer or group that you are going to achieve success in your goals in terms of inclusion and diversity just by virtue of their efforts in some silo. It has to actually be carried forward by the business. We have an exceptional diversity, equity, and inclusion office at Cushman & Wakefield. They enable the business to help us to achieve our goals, but it is very clear to me that it is the business's responsibility to act in such a way that we will achieve those goals. We actually are making recommendations and putting those forward to whether it's global leadership or even our board for what we think we should be doing, what actual actions we should be taking to advance diversity and inclusion. So it's coming from the mouth of the business, from those of us who run a P&L and understand what impact it will have, what investment it's going to take and what we can see forward and how it's going to pay off. But we're the ones making the recommendation. It's not necessarily coming just from an office of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Thank you for listening in. We look forward to sharing more thoughts with you tomorrow.